Hello beautiful people. The new update for War Thunder named Firebird was released yesterday, and I will in this video mention some of the changes and additions I find interesting. As usual, this will center around the lower ranks and the battle ratings I play myself, namely World War II and early Cold War air and ground content. Hope you enjoy. We can start out with some new stuff added to the Hangar. The player profile is now full screen with just one profile option as of right now available, and that is in the mode in which the player has fought the most battles. There's also far less scrolling involved now in getting a quick vehicle overview. When looking at the secondary weapon screen, bombs carried internally are now visible through the model. This is a nice little new feature that will provide additional information. The ability to move the range scale horizontally has been added to the side settings menu. The scale is moved by dragging it with the mouse cursor. Besides the range scale, additional options to the side setting menus have been added. Tank destroyers, ATGM carriers, all SPAA vehicles and vehicles with additional rockets and bombs as the Calliope or Matilda Hedgehog can now build an ammo box near the vehicle on almost all ground. After you spawn one of the selected vehicles in, it will start a 60-second counter before you can deploy the ammo box. The shortcut is on the UI and the default is Alt-E for PC. You can now put down the ammo box within a 10 meters distance from the vehicle. The ammo box will contain the same amount of ammo you picked before entering a match, so it will not be the maximum allowed ammunition. As you start shooting, the ammo box works as if you were standing on a capture point while shooting. Only you can use the ammo box, so you cannot share the ammo with others, nor can others use your ammo. You can also choose to move the ammo box. Just move away from your position and put down the ammo box again. The ammo in the box will not be replenished by that though. It will only contain what you had in it when you left the old position. The ammo box can be destroyed by shooting at it or rammed by enemy vehicles. If you're in a light vehicle and close by when it's being destroyed, your own vehicle can take damage or potentially be destroyed. If your vehicle has multiple weapon systems such as SAM and rockets, a box for each system will be added to the ground, up to a total of 3. But if you for instance have a vehicle as the Sherman Calliope with rockets, only one box for the rockets will be added. The ammo for the tank gun still needs to be replenished at a capture point in that instance. A host of new improved effects have been added, like dirt and mud effects on the vehicles depending on the type of terrain they go through, new effects for driving over or destroying non-playable vehicles, improved tracers, which really look great now and can provide an impressive light show during battles, new rain and snow effects, particles are now able to bend around landscapes, buildings and objects, and the list goes on. The game keeps looking better and better, not to mention the new addition of ray tracing, if you have the horsepower for it. The US has finally received much needed assistance in the SPAA lineups. We have 2 new additions. First, the Rank 2 Battle Rating 3.7 T77E1. This vehicle is based on an M24 chassis with a new turret containing 650 caliber machine guns. Although fully enclosed, the turret of the new SPAG is very thin with just over 12 mm of protection. The gunner and commander has no protection from the top down. The plexiglass domes over their heads have no armor value at all. The 6 heavy machine guns have a total ammo count of 6,600 rounds. The crazy thing here is that the ammo is not in boxes but is one long belt, so no reloading is needed. You can theoretically fire all 6,600 rounds off in one burst, but I'm sure the barrels won't be happy about that. The second vehicle added for the US SPAA lineup is the Canadian Skink, already present in the British tech tree. It is identical to the British version, also at rank 4, at battle rating 5.3. The Skinks have also received a buff. The vertical and horizontal aiming speeds of the guns have been changed from 20 degrees a second and 63 degrees a second to 45 degrees a second and 60 degrees a second respectively. So the vertical aiming speed has over doubled, and the horizontal aiming speed has also received a small buff. The British tech tree has had the M5A4 Ram 2 added from the US tech tree. It is identical to the US Ram 2, but with British markings and camo. I can only recommend getting this little premium for the cost of just over 1,000 golden eagles. Now with the Ram 2 added to the British, there has also been a slight nerf to it. The material of the upper glacis have been changed from rolled homogeneous armor to cast homogeneous armor. There has also been some sound changes, with the largest being the increase in dynamic range and aerial bombs now making noises, like 6 noises or whatever. Now, I'm often not a happy camper when it comes to sound changes in War Thunder. They often break and initially makes it worse than it was before, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. 2 new awards for deploying nukes have been added. The Anti-Snare is awarded for shooting down a nuke aircraft that has already dropped the bomb, and 1 minute to midnight, that award is for completing a mission with a nuke carrier without the nuke detonating. The latter award is the one I said you will get mostly. The Henschel 129s, aka Ducks, have had the fire extinguishing system added, which is clearly the most important item for this update so far. Well, for me at least. On the bomber side of things, some nice updates have been added. Secondary weapon menus, aka custom loadouts, have been added for the ME264, the Focke-Wulf 200 Condor, the Heinkel 177A5 Greif, and the Vaya 2 heavy bombers. The premium German bomber Ju-288C can now carry 2 2,500 kg bombs, which is going to be a nasty surprise for a ground RB for sure. The US B-17G heavy bomber can now carry underwing 4,000 pound bombs, bringing the total out to 4 bombs. The number of 1,600 pound AN Mk1 armor-piercing bombs have also been increased from 2 to 6. A bug on some SPAAs has been corrected where the breach was only 10 mm thick instead of a value of 150 mm. And I think I have actually encountered this where I have had the breach destroyed by light machine gun fire, so this is a welcome fix. A nice buff has happened to the Japanese Honi 1. The maximum gun depression has increased from an already good -10 degrees to excellent -15 degrees. The horizontal guidances have also received a 1 degree increase. There has also been a fix, which ends up being a nerf for some Italian tank destroyers, with the lower front plate's thickness being reduced from 40 to 25 mm. Neutral steering has been added to the French tank destroyer ARL-44 and the heavy tank ARL-44 ACL-1. Although the chassis is already oddly light feeling for its size and weight, it is a welcome change. New uniforms for US Cold War vehicles have been updated. The crew models are for the SPAGs M19, M42, M163, Chaparral, ending with the tank destroyer M56. A number of fighter and attack aircraft have had bombs and in some cases more bombs added. Now while cash has gotten completely out of hand, there are certain countries that have very little in that regard. Japan is one of those countries when we talk about World War II at least. In this update, some of the low-tier attackers have received 50, 100 and 250 kg bombs, which is a nice addition. On the other hand, the Ki 102 Otsu has had a ground build for its 57mm cannon added. Previously, it could only fire a high explosive shell, so you would think that this is a great addition. But the AP shell added for the 57mm cannon is just a practice shell with just 28mm of armor pen max. The armor pen for its already existing 20mm cannon build is just 2mm less. So why even bother when the 57mm cannon can only carry 16 shells? I might be wrong, but on paper this seems like a waste, and you would be much better off just using the 57mm cannon's default high explosive shell to destroy, for instance, bombers in ARB or open top vehicles in mixed battles. But there's more for low-tier Japanese aircraft. On the Ki-45 Otsu, the 37mm cannon has been replaced with another 37mm cannon. The 37mm Ho-203 cannon's rate of fire has been nerfed massively from 300 to 100 rounds per minute, and the 37mm Ho-204 cannon's rate of fire has been increased from 360 to 400 rounds per minute. The 37mm and 20mm cannon ammo for the Chisma has been reduced from 75 to 45 and from 150 to 120 rounds per barrel. And lastly, new bombs also have been added to the Sea Furies and the Spitfires Mark 22 and 24, and thank God for that. The bombs added are the MC-250 and 500-pound bombs, which actually contain more than the spoonful of TNT than the GP line of bombs have. So instead of 30 kilograms of TNT for the GP-250, it's now 51 kilograms with the MC-250. The GP 500-pound bomb has a puny 65 kilograms of TNT, while the newly added MC500 has close to 130 kilograms. Now these were just some of the documented changes in the update. There are many more that I have not mentioned, and as per usual, a large number of buffs and nerfs that are not documented at all, as per Gaijin's practice or malpractice. If you have already noticed some of the undocumented changes, do let us know in the comment section below. But that was about it. Thank you for watching, and remember to deploy your dial brakes. Have a good one.